The webinar, the pitch today will be will lead to any startup pitching for 5 minutes. And we have two great panelists, Helen and Wesley. Maybe Fred can join us later. And they will give you one and a half minutes, very straight feedback, the good and bad, and what they feedback on any startup. I would like, first of all, to welcome our panelists, starting with Helen Han. Helen, please present yourself.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be in the event. So basically, I have working in the startup ecosystem for about 10 years. At the very beginning, was in more like an operational role for the startup development. And then from 2019 on, I switched my the side of the table to the venture capital. And now currently, I'm also doing investment for the high potential tech startups. So I'll be very happy to offer some of my suggestions to the intelligent founders, and I'll be very happy to get to know some new ideas in the startup ecosystems as well.
Thank you, Helen. Now let me go through Fred. Fred is a managing partner of G2 Development Partners, and please, Fred, introduce yourself.
Hi, how are you all? I actually wear multiple hats in this space. I'm the president of the DC Metro chapter of Keiretsu Forum, which is the largest angel investment network in the world. Been around for 21 years, and over the course of those 21 years have done over $1 billion of early stage and angel financing, averaging over 90 million a year for the past several years. As Max mentioned, I'm also the managing partner of G2 Gem Finance and a few other early stage special situation funding groups that gets involved with doing creative financings for early stage companies with a primary focus in the green energy sector. Have a number of waste to energy projects, renewable diesel, MSW to renewable diesel, et cetera. I also have a consulting company where we provide consulting services to early stage founders and entrepreneurs looking to raise capital. Fourth, I seem to be a serial panelist. I serve on a number of Shark Tank panels, Piranha Pond, whatever else they're called by the local organization, and also give and help presentations for a number of educational institutions and chambers of commerce and local entrepreneur / development incubators and the like, providing feedback and instruction to entrepreneurs looking for money, and also to new investors who are trying to get into this the space of early stage investing. So,
thank you, Fred. Now let me go through the next one. Wesley Owens, $1 billion business coach, angel investor, venture capital. Please, Wesley.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Max and the team at Equity Match for inviting me to be a panelist today. I hail from Atlanta, Georgia. Serial entrepreneur, been in the entrepreneurial ecosystem for the better part of 25 years. My first venture was a tech firm. I exited that a couple of years after starting it. I guess you could say I was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug at that point, and went on to launch a couple of different startups. I've found my success once again in the staffing space, outsourcing HR roles and other staffing positions. Since then, I've catapulted over to the VC space. Completed my executive MBA at Columbia with a focus on private capital, venture capital and private equity, and have since been assisting companies looking for investment capital, seed stage companies, and just excited to hear what all of the participants have for us to see today. So very excited about that. Excited to be here. Excited to learn what you guys have cooking, so to speak, and excited to be a part of the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Wesley. Let's go to our founders and stars. This is a beautiful picture, all founders all together. I'm very excited. So let me start with Tim Perron, pitching Bridge Therapeutics. Tim, please, the stage is yours.
Okay, so Tim Perra here, president of Bridge Therapeutics. We are disrupting some really big markets by separating the treatment of pain from the risk of addiction. So the problem we face is that of the opioid crisis. 100,000 Americans, about 15,000 Europeans, and others throughout the world died from drug overdose last year. The majority of these were not trying to get high, at least not originally. They were seeking pain relief, but got addicted to opioids, and then things spun out of control. So how do we fix this? We're going to use a drug called buprenorphine, or simply Bup. So Bup has already been proved to be safe and effective in treating both pain and addiction. So it's relatively inexpensive and fast to get FDA approval for this. Yet it has a chief drawback, which that the delivery is slow. It's absorbed through the lining of the mouth in about 10 minutes. So because buprenorphine is generic, we need to build barriers to entry around our products. And we do this first and foremost with a delivery technology, which also fixes the delivery problem. It drops delivery time, 99-fold down to just 3 seconds. So from about 10 minutes to 3 seconds. It's also relatively inexpensive, about 1/5 the cost of the branded drug, which is Suboxone. A second barrier we can erect is marketing exclusivity by doing unique trials for FDA, and our later products themselves are patented. So here's a quick look at the products. So we have an addiction drug called Bunals. It dissolves rapidly. We have 2 different pain drugs. Bupono is for pain only, buprenorphine only, and Bucam also combines an anti-inflammatory drug for a different type of pain. When we look at commercializing, you'll see we've made great strides. We licensed the technology, the quick dissolve technology. This quarter, we're conducting the only trial needed for FDA approval. So we should have sales roughly in a year from now. The markets we attack are big, close to $40 billion. And that's split between acute pain, chronic pain, and opioid use disorder. I just note that the pain we're going after is the worst sort. It's called moderate to severe. People who can't get out of bed in the morning because of their pain. So when we look at our go-to-market strategies, and there are 2, Bridge will be a wholesaler to clinics and hospitals, pharmacy benefit managers. We plan a low-key approach to addiction because there's a stigma associated with opioid use disorder. So here we look to have the Bunals product have its own branding, its own sales force, even putting into a separately named subsidiary to keep some degree of separation between this product and the main pain focus of the company. So we plan a big splash for pain, a national campaign. And this is where major funding from an IPO or a private equity tie-up would be directed. Already, Bridge has shown proof of concept by attracting 24 pain doctors as investors. These are not only large prescribers themselves, but they also influence, a dozen or more primary care physicians, each one of them. If we turn to our team, and in particular, our Chief Science Officer, we can answer the question, why Bridge and not somebody else? Dr. Greg Sullivan has done virtually every single trial in America of buprenorphine. He's done 16 of them. He's also been treating pain and addiction for over 30 years. Now, I myself have a business and finance background. I've been working with startups for 20 years. And our Chief Operating Officer, Dave Bergstrom, ran the Zydus division of what was then Cardinal Health and is now Catalent for 7 years. Among our advisors, I point out in particular, Bob Rappaport ran the FDA's division for pain and addiction drugs, while among our commercial advisors, Bob London was a key executive in Athena Health, Walgreens, CVS Pharmacy, and Brooke Kessler has been a top salesperson in both pain and addiction meds. Turning to our financials, you see that they are robust. We're expecting about $80 million in sales next year, growing close to $800 million in 2026, yet this is a tiny fraction of the market, just 2%. We have the potential to have sales in the billions, and we can get there through safer scheduling. Bup is a class 3 drug like codeine, whereas all of the strong opioids, which currently are used to treat bad pain, are Schedule 2, so much riskier. we can get government guidance and hence become the standard of care in these sectors. So what's that worth? Let me give you an idea of some comparables. Heron Therapeutics is also doing branded generics. They're worth about $1 billion. Karuna Therapeutics, again, branded generics, their addressable market is 1/3 the size that we are, and they're sitting at $3 billion. We're currently working on a $50 million raise. The next milestone is reached with just $2 million. And this is on top of 8 that we've already raised. So in terms of exits, we can look to go public either through a listing or a SPAC. We could look to license the addiction drug to Indivior. Indivior owns the branded drug Suboxone, or we might look to sell the whole company to somebody like Pfizer. So I thank you for your attention and invite your questions.
Helen, do you want to start with your feedback?
Sure. I think it is a very clear pitch, and also like it covers most important parts like the market, the product, the team, and I'm especially impressed by the team as well, because you also cover some of the information about your advisor. I don't know if I kind of miss it out. What is the current stage of your development? Are they kind of in the preclinical stage, or it's already kind of been like in the FDA approval stage?
Because the drugs are generic, we don't need to show safety or effectiveness. Those are the long time, expensive studies. For the first drug, we only need to do a delivery study, and we've done pilot studies of that. The actual study is going to be take about a week to have 30 patients. That's the only trial that we need, and then we will apply for FDA approval.
Wesley, if you want to take the next one.
I actually don't necessarily have a question. I just have a statement. Tim, I thought that was very impressive. You know, I'm certainly familiar with the opioid crisis in this country. And, you know, I got a little bit of an education on your pitch between Schedule 2 and Schedule 3. I think it's very smart to approach the problem from a Schedule 3 standpoint. And, you know, I'll echo what Helen said. You know, it's one thing to have a good, solid team. It's something else to have a good, solid team of advisors. And it looks like you guys have both. So very impressed, very impressive, and I wish you much success.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wesley. Fred?
Yeah, I focus a little more on the investment than the company, because especially on such a short pitch, you can't give all the information on the company. You know, all that comes out in due diligence. So I guess I kind of like to focus and see if it's something that an investor would want to go to the next level. So along those lines, looking for other validation metrics, like have you gotten any non-dilutive funding? If so, how much? You know, you said you've raised $200 million in prior deals before. How many of those investors have been, you know, repeat investors and come on board with your new ventures? So again, in the short period of time you have, just seeing other relatively objective metrics for validation.
I mean, the best one is the one I mentioned, having paying doctors as investors. They know the space.
Again, like how much did they put in? They put in 10K each or 100, you know, 6 figures each?
It's either side of 50. They put in, and you know, the least has been about 25. The most has been 100, 110. So those have been investors from that. I actually was brought in by a former investor from a deal that I had done previously. This is my first spot in pharma. I had been doing energy before, but the family office that brought me in had put money also into my last big energy project overseas.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, guys. So let's move to the second one. Our second founder is Itai Decker, pitching Synex.io. Itai, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Max. Let me just start off by sharing my screen. So hi, everyone from Tel Aviv. My name is Itai. I'm the CEO of Synex.io. And our aim is to help NFT investors find winning NFT projects using social intelligence. Now, just 2 words about the NFT market, because I have heard from people, this is a bubble, it's all gonna burst. So smarter and much more accomplished people than myself are investing heavily in this field. So I definitely know we're in very, very good company. This market right now is worth over $40 billion, and it's expected to grow exponentially in the years to come. So I'm a big basketball fan. I've watched NBA for my entire life. And about a year ago, I combined two of my passions, NBA and NFTs, and I bought a project called NBA Top Shot. This is a massive project. Now, unfortunately, I bought into this project when the follower gains were growing exponentially, and there was a lot of passion in the community. So the prices of the NFTs were growing rapidly. And I ended up buying NFTs, which are now worth much, much less. However, I did learn something. I learned that the more followers a project gains and the higher the passion is for this project, the more likely the project will succeed. And after talking to hundreds of NFT enthusiasts, I can tell you that the most important metric for deciding failure or success for an NFT project is the community behind it. And millions of people are asking the same question whenever they look at an NFT project. What does the community look like? What are the social trends? One way of doing this is following Discord and Twitter, two of the biggest platforms for NFTs. But to do this manually, you would have to go into each project and each platform, count how many messages are being sent to see how passionate the community is, and also the follower gains. So pretty much every day, counting all these messages, all the retweets, all the likes, all the followers. This is a very, very hard job to say the least, and probably impossible if you're following more than just one project. So what we did is actually take all this information, the most important metric for deciding a success of an NFT project, and giving them to our users so they can check them out in a matter of minutes. I'll just quickly show our platform. It's an MVP. We've released it about a month ago. We're very, very proud of what we accomplished so far. Here we have what we like to call the general matrix. So just general information about the NFT project. But where the magic is in the social matrix. This is an actual sneak peek inside the community behind every NFT project. This information could be absolutely priceless for NFT enthusiasts. However, our aim is to help people that are just starting off into NFTs. And we know there's millions of people that really want to get into this market. And if I show them this information, it won't really help them. So what we did is actually took all these social matrix and put them into one score, our RAP score. So it's a score between 1 and 100, where 1 is not good and 100 is excellent. So even if you have zero idea what NFTs are, you could still very easily get into this market and find a project that suits you. In terms of monetizing, we have currently 3 ways of monetizing our users. One would be an affiliation with OpenSea. So if you would go into one of the project pages, you will see all the collection that's available to buy on OpenSea, and you can easily go continue to OpenSea and buy the specific NFT, and we'll get an affiliation from them. The second way is through advertisements. So we feature some projects on our dashboard for a fee between 1 and 3 Ethereum, depending on different things. But that's another way. And the third way is a subscription base. So freemium model where some features are for free and then others will cost money depending on how deep you want to dig inside. And the last one would be in the future would be to become an independent marketplace by 2023. And this is where the huge money is. We know that OpenSea are now valued at $13 billion. OpenSea is the biggest marketplace, and we know there's definitely room for other competitors. So our plan is next year to actually be one of those competitors. In terms of competition, there's actually just one more company like us that follow Discord and Twitter. We do things a little bit differently. So even if there's lots of room for both of us, we still want to improve on what they do, but we also do activity analysis and sentiment and volume. It's not just that we want to see how many messages are being sent and talked about. We actually want to see how people are talking about the project. So that's another way for users to take advantage. Our team, I know probably every CEO says this about this team, but I couldn't be happier with the team we've gathered. Our chairman Amnon is a veteran in the entrepreneurial world. This is his 5th startup. He actually started a company called TuneViki, which is the first lyrics app. About 1 billion people are now using this technology. Myself, I was in ad tech before this. I actually sold my company, my shares in the company, and started doing this. Billy, very experienced hands-on CTO, and our advisors are absolutely amazing. The most distinguished one would probably be Itai Gisin, who is the former CEO of investing.com. So really couldn't be happier with the team we've gathered. We're looking for 1.5 million. This will help us to scan the information from bots, because Discord and Twitter are very dirty places. Lots of bots, lots of fake activity. We want to use machine learning, big data, and AI to help us glean all this information. We want to create our own NFT and token. And obviously we want to publicize this. So we want to build our marketing team, reach influencers, which are already in our pipeline. And we need obviously money to do this. Thank you very much.
Please, Wesley.
Thank you for that. That was very interesting. I literally just looked at another NFT platform, so I feel like I'm a lot more educated now on NFTs than I have been in the past. That said, OpenSea obviously is one of the marketplaces. Have you considered approaching any other marketplace and becoming a partner there? That's my first question. Second question, it seems as though maybe you're monetizing a little bit. I couldn't tell. So could you answer that for me also?
Yeah, absolutely. For your first question, yes, we're probably gonna start cooperating with Magic Eden, which is the biggest marketplace for Solana. So currently, OpenSea work with Ethereum blockchain, and the second biggest blockchain for NFTs is Solana. So we want to start working with Magic Eden as well. And in the future, we're open to work with other marketplaces. In terms of monetizing, the biggest one currently would be through a subscription model. So a freemium with some features for free, and then the premium ones would cost money. We're also, we can also show projects that want to get publicity on our platform. That's another way that other NFT platforms are doing this and making some really nice money from that. And an affiliation with the marketplaces.
Okay, and so let me ask again, do you currently have revenue?
No, this is an MVP we've released about a month ago. One of the reasons we're raising is to market.
Understand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Wesley. Fred?
Yeah, a few things. One, I might be able to help you with a connection to an NFT fund. So if you contact me, I can connect you, see if there's some synergies there, or possible customer. And the second question is, really follow-on question there. Exactly what stage are you? You know, do you have alpha? You have beta out there? How long you've been using it?
Yeah, so we've released our MVP about a month and a week ago, something like that. I can tell you that.
What's the data and performance? Are you billionaires yet?
No, we are not. That's a great question. We have my co-founder Amnon has a math degree, and we also work. One of our advisors is a data scientist. Our main goal right now is to make the data correlate along with the signal, meaning we want to see RAP score matching the changes in prices. Obviously, this is very, very hard to do. It's such a volatile market, but we're working very, very hard to make that happen.
How much of all the management team and founders' personal net worth are you guys putting into following your own advice?
So we've started doing the RAP score about a week ago. This is a week's old data. So currently we're not putting anything in, but I can tell you that we're definitely planning on putting some real money in there and showcasing this to our users and everyone.
Well, again, showing that you believe it. If you don't put, you know, your money at risk behind it, then, you know, hard to ask for others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fred. Helen.
Yeah, I have a comment. I really like your presentation because the way you present is very energetic, very passionate about the things. I think besides you haven't really put your money in, like the way the energy that you show out is really kind of it's very attractive. At the same time, I also having two questions, like maybe not like very deep questions as well. First of all, since you already have an MVP, I believe it's actually open to a few people. So what is the performance based on that? And the second is, I'm actually quite curious how you come up with this social score. Like what is the metrics you put in the calculation, and then how you guarantee this is kind of fair enough to correlate it with the price?
Yeah, great questions. first off, we haven't put $1 into marketing. But what we do is we use the featured section and contact NFT projects and tell them, hey, we can put you on our featured dashboard. And in return, you can tell your audience about it. And so we've seen about 1,000 users in the last 30 days. I know this is not a very impressive numbers. However, we did see that they stay on the website for almost 5 minutes each, which I think is very, very impressive for an MVP, because we're still missing a lot of features that we want to add. And second of all, about 80% of them come back again. So we're very happy with those numbers. So the metrics are calculated based on the interaction of the community. So we take a tweet and then we see how many retweets, how many likes, how many comments, etc. And on Discord, we count the emojis and messages, and we give a weight to each one of those. Now, again, very new product. We're still playing around with it, but we have come up with some sort of formula. We have a mathematician on board and we have a data scientist, and they're helping us with that.
Can you understand it's more like based on engagement?
Yeah. So again, if a project tweets, we will count the retweets, the likes, the comments, all those things. And the same for Discord. We'll count the messages of the community.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Ellen. Thank you, Tai. So let's move to the next one. Lin Xuanchu, pitching Weibo Up. Lin, the stage is yours.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you, Max and panelists and Equity Match. So we do have 3 participants who we are co-founders together to do the pitching. So here we are, the team. As mentioned in the first company that you guys have an advice, we actually have 2, but they're contract based. So I guess that's something that we will work on putting in as a team next time. And Weibo is a social media marketing tool that is built to connect the communities, also to grow the small businesses, freelancers, and content creators from 0 to 1 within 24 hours. And we would like to invite you to see one of our product videos. So Prodigy is actually one of our ambassadors. We have identified a few problems in the industry, one of it including small businesses usually do not use online marketing for a simple reason that it's very expensive, and second, they don't know how. The second problem is that big tech firms are holding too much power, including their regulations and sometimes disabling accounts without warning. With that said, let's give it to our CTO co-founder, Jay, on solutions.
Hey, thank you, Lynn. So what we try to do is we introduce 3 simple innovations as well as our solutions, from global announcement to local announcement to a unique way to push notification to the users. So what we do now, as you know, we try to connect communities to help the small businesses and freelancers and push and grow in our local announcement. So which means all the users within the region will see the post for 24 hours. And what we're talking about is the promotion of the influencer as well as the product video of the post will be just $2. So what we're trying to do is we convert the 3 solutions we have into a 3 business model, from marketers to token purchase to content advertising. So what we do so far is we just take the 30% from the income generated from the streamers on a contractor base. So looking at that, yes, I understand this is very, very messy, but put it this way, the conversion rate among all other competitors in the market is a lot. Comparing to our free boom will be unlimited CPM with just $2. So I put it this way in the chart form, whereby we managed to push it in just the 5% of conversion cost compared to the market. So what we're talking about so far is we can penetrate to all the smartphones users. For example, we try to start in Taiwan, Republic of India, as well as United States or America over the next 3 to 5 years. So if you're wondering how we can do it in the marketing, let's hear from our marketing guru, as well as our co-founder, from our team, JJ, Lin, yeah, the other J, to share with you the marketing plan.
Hey, thanks, Vic. Appreciate it. Okay, so we'll be pushing Weeble to 20 million unique followers between YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat the first month. Weeble is backed by a team of influencers with a combined influence of 60 million followers across social media platforms. We are currently building an influencer on a YouTube channel, Instagram, and Snapchat, and Line. We are aiming for the small business market size of 600 billion with a compound annual growth rate of 13.9%. Google and Meta dominate 52% of the global market, and 42% of the market is out of reach and steadily growing in demand. Weeble will gain verification and collaboration with corporations to tap into the 600 billion market within the second press release. What's unique about Weeble is that we are bringing offline to online and vice versa. The second point is that we are self-sustainable, from growing fan base to monetization, all within Weeble. In summary, we are a new technology with a new channel.
Yep, thank you, Jay. And we're expected to recruit 250,000 active users the first month. As the average conversion rate, we're expected to have 6,000 and more paid users on announcement feature. On top of that, 280,000 will expected to come from token purchase towards the live streamers. And in-app views will be available the second year on. As a result, we're expected to gain US 1.4 million for the first annual revenue. In the seed round, we are raising $500,000 funding in exchange for safe notes. If you do have any questions, like to learn more, see other features from us, please follow up with me from LinkedIn or my email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lina. Thank you, guys. So let's start with Fred. If you want to take this as first.
I hate to say it, but it was a confusing presentation. Kind of went back and forth. Maybe part was the quality. So I apologize, but I didn't even get what the it is. What actually you are trying to do. And then just secondly, just a note of information. There's no such thing as a safe note. It's just a safe. A safe is not a note.
Thank you for the feedback. And we are a social media application that connects the community. And Weeble is created for the small businesses, freelancers, and content creators to actually promote their work for $2. So the idea is we promote them from the fan base that we have, which is the 65 million followers across the social medias, and to able to increase exposure for the small businesses who usually don't really go online to do marketing due to the cost, and we're able to increase their exposure and have their investment right back.
Thank you. Yeah, Helen.
I kind of having the same confusion, like what exactly are you guys do? But I will be more tender because I like the way you bring 3 people on the table. Like I see the team, but maybe it's more straightforward if you have 1 people presenting. And actually I lost the part like when you try to bring us to your user journey, how exactly the product looks like and what exactly you want to do, because I believe, like, are you kind of towards to building a community or building a new social media, or you want to actually just gathering the marketers to kind of utilize the users from the other social media? Kind of haven't really got too much about the idea. If you can expand a little bit to me.
Yeah, so we are actually building a community within our app. We also promote other people who like to be content creators. So simply put, there are 280,000 content creators every month on YouTube. How do they grow from 0 to 1? So they can come to us, send us the content, the link of their YouTube channel, and pay the $2, and we'll promote for them for 24 hours to all the users, basically. And there's an option to choose to promote it to the global users or just the nearby local users. Hopefully that helps.
So you're doing marketing for the content creators
and freelancers and small businesses. So we're not a content creator agency. We help them to go from 0 to 1, so the toughest stage. simply because we have the followers.
Okay, I kind of understand a little better now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wesley.
So thank you for the presentation. I'll echo what Helen said. I like the way you guys present with 3 team members. Maybe this isn't the best form because we are, we're pressed for time. However, I do like the presentation idea or the idea. So just in listening to you guys' response to both Helen and Fred, I'm going to see if I can sum it up. Are you a digital marketing agency with your own app, if you will? That's how I'm kind of hearing it, where you're aggregating, to your point, small businesses, content creators and the like, giving them a lower cost per customer, a lower customer acquisition cost. And you're then somehow increasing their return through exposure and allowing them to sell whatever product that is. And that's how you're measuring ROI. Is that about right?
So thank you for your feedback. We are actually, so in order to put it this way, having a product itself will not be successful. The product needs to be marketed to people. People need to know. That's why
Right.
Jay Pena, the founder, has a team of influencers of combined 65 million followers. And these are the people who we call our marketing powerhouse, will be promoting Weibo to push download. And secondly, we are not a influencer agency. For now, we're actually building influencers, and this is just to promote Weibo for us, so we can save costs, so to speak. And yeah, so we
Okay.
name ourselves new technology with new channel, because
Okay.
there's another part that we didn't really mention in this pitch. Because we're also scared of the IP violation, right? We don't want, we're working on IP, so patent, so we don't really want to give our ideas away. But we basically connecting the community by topics. So instead of getting people together by being friends or by groups, we actually bring them together by topics. And this way we increase the business growth, the economic opportunities. And I guess we can send you a follow-up on our design. We're currently working on the MVP. And there are 4 sections actually. So there main part, and then there's the marketing part, and then the profile. So it's kind of tangible, but once you see the design, you'll have a much better idea.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You're so it sounds like there's no revenue yet. You're working on your MVP. How far would you say that you're away from maybe your first revenue?
So we have the marketing ready to push downloads, and since our business model is $2, so we don't see too much struggle in pushing the revenue. I would say the first month we'll be able to generate revenue, and it takes about 60 days to build the platform.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Well, thank you for that. I am interested in more information. So please, whatever the proper channels are, if you send it to Equity Match and then they send it on to us, I would love to know more. I think you probably are onto something. I agree with you that the cost of marketing and social media is high and getting higher, right? It's very expensive, be it, any of the meta platforms, be it, YouTube, whatever it is. It's getting more costly, and it's quite frankly, it is confusing to small business owners and people who don't professionally market. So I think you're on to something. I just need help fleshing out what that something is.
Absolutely. We'll be following up with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So let's move to the next one, which is Yanis Defendi, pitching Logra. Yanis, the stage is yours.
Amazing, Max. Thank you very much. Very happy to be here with you. So how we are going to drive 1 million SMBs grow, one result at a time in developing world, focus in Latin America first. So today in Latin America, we have almost 70% of the 10 million SMBs, small, medium businesses, which can grow because they don't have access to the right solution at the right timing. And there are many solutions, but the good ones are hard to find and very hard to implement for these SMBs. So to solve that, we created a standardized tactic framework that guides step by step any SMBs to the successful implementation of any solution. And after that, we selected the 500 digital tools and best business practices that solve 80% of the 5 biggest similar challenges the SMBs face in their daily operation. And we integrated these 500 initial tactics in Logra, the first intelligent platform able to create a customized growth plan for any SMBs and guide the team on the successful implementation. So our first business model, it's a kind of McKinsey SaaS, accessible to 90% of SMBs in Latin America for less than $10 USD per month. We could qualify it as a net tech 100% focus on actionable content for getting results. How does the platform work? Any SMBs fill its diagnosis in less than 5 minutes. Using its data, our smart algorithm creates a growth plan with an average of 44 tactics, which will be constantly updated to retain our users. And each team member executes the plan for his department step by step, and they monitor together the results, skills development with a little bit of gamification. So the market we are focused on and we will redesign is the consulting market with a solution 100 times cheaper than a consultant. And we are going to disrupt the market of public and institutional investment for SMBs productivity with our institutional platform and our go-to-market. So talking about go-to-market, as it's very expensive to go to each SMBs, we acquire the SMB network of economic development entities, Chamber of Commerce, Ministry of Economy, banks, pension fund. And for that, we created a kind of white label platform so that entities can create the best program of growth for their SMBs network powered by Logra in less than 5 minutes and measure results in real time. We give them two options. They paid for their SMBs, 100,000 or 1,000 SMBs, or they offer them a discount on our subscription. So what we achieved today, we ran a manual MVP for almost 1 year, learning a lot with amazing results. 4 months ago, we launched our automated platform. And in January, we got our first B2B2B contract with a pension fund in Colombia who paid a yearly subscription to 10,000 of its affiliated SMBs, which give us an ARR of 150K. And we just had the validation for the second contract of 70,000 SMBs. So today our path to scale is clear. We have 110 institutional qualified leads that group a network of 1.5 million SMBs, and we are moving forward with 12 similar projects than the Colombian one. We want to close this year with 50,000 active SMBs in 5 countries, open Brazil next year, and expand from 2024 to get 1 million active SMBs, spending at least 100 USD per year in the next 5 years. So our team built today a unique opportunity with unfair advantages. Andres and Luis have 12 years experience creating the best program of acceleration for SMBs, for more than 3,000 SMBs, working and doing that for companies like Google, Microsoft, Techstars, but to the largest entities in LATAM, Mexican government, Colombian government. So we have a strong network, which are their clients for 10 years of entities ready to deploy or go to market. And this helps us to deeply understand the pain of SMBs and entities to build a very easy to use and scalable technology in-house, thanks to Israel, our CTO. So today, We are looking for investors who share our long-term vision to transform the economy in developing countries, helping SMBs and their team to grow. We are raising our pre-seed round up to $1.2 million to accelerate product development, tactics creation, and our go-to-market deployments. We already have 300K, so 200K are available on our actual open safe, which we do in tranche, and will be closed tomorrow. So we will open a new safe on Monday with a new cap term. So glad to have on board. If you want to share our journey transforming the economy of the developing world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yanis. So let's start with Fred.
Yeah, I like the concept, but a little bit similar comment before. Right off the bat, it's good to say exactly what you are. You know, an algorithm, a marketing platform, a consulting. It took a little of getting into your presentation before, you know, the viewer was kind of grounded on where you are, where you're going. But in general, I think the concept is good. One of my big questions would be, what is your competition? You know, it seems like there are a number of other similar types of things out there, or would you say that that's not the case?
So definitely we are a B2B SaaS. I mean, with kind of edtech, I think it's the best description for us. So today, these are the competition. So we have like edtech, which help in reskilling and skilling development. We have the consulting, which give like high value at a very high prices. And we have like institutional programs, which are very inefficient, but have a very low cost for SMBs. So today, our value is defined by the customization we can give to any companies, the relevance of the content depending of the challenge they are facing, and the easy of implementation and the easy to get the results they are having with our platform. And the low-cost access is really using the distribution of the solution with channels that SMBs already know, which are these entities.
Thank you. I guess what I like and I think find very helpful is if you have literally a chart that has, you know, you next to the competition and all the different components that go into the value proposition. You can, like, you know, checks versus X's to really see like an easy differentiator of you versus the others. And to me, it just makes it real easy, you know, for people that are visual to just see it, and then they can get it right away and get it fairly quickly.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks very much for the comment. We'll consider it to improve that.
Wesley.
Fred, on some of his comments, it took me a second to just understand exactly what the solution was. I know that the Latin American market is a very growing market. I know it represents a tremendous amount of opportunities. Certainly, a SaaS solution is going to be probably the most cost-efficient way of harnessing all of that potential. However, I didn't fully understand it until we were about halfway through as to exactly what we were talking about. So, you know, with that said, I probably would need a little bit more information to give a little bit more constructive feedback, but I feel like you're probably on to something. I'm just not fully, I'm not fully aware of exactly what, because it took me a second to understand where you were going. And then once I kind of began to understand, and I understood that the small businesses, you were helping small businesses grow. I started to get that through a SaaS model. I got that, but I just didn't understand maybe the full extent of your SaaS solution.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think this is like the best way to summary it. We guide them really to implement successfully, step by step, best business practices and the digital tools they need. So it's kind of consultant as a service, fully automated, powered by AA, which recommend you the best tactics you need depending of the challenge you face.
What we're both saying almost is say it up front. We are a blank. We are a SaaS solution that brings in AI in order to solve the following problem. Boom. And once you say that up front, our minds, are then primed and can really listen and hear the rest of your presentation better, as opposed to our initially trying to figure out what your it is. So I always say just say what your it is or what you are, and then go into why you're compelling.
Yeah, I certainly see some very familiar SaaS solutions up there. Slack and Loom and MailChimp and HubSpot and Calendly. So I see some things there, and I agree with you that all of those are excellent applications to help small businesses grow. I just need to know how you're going to get from the left side of the screen to some form of ROI using the right side of the screen. And I think that's what your product does. It just wasn't clear to me right up front. That's all.
Thank you. Helen.
I have the same feeling. I really like the last sentence you just said, which is summarize everything about your solution, because it took me really, really long time. I think much later than Fred and Wesley that I can understand what exactly you're doing. But besides that, I think you have very structured presentation. So like it's a professional one, I would say. I actually take a notice about your development, like the charts, the bar chart you actually show. I just very, very quickly had a glance. Does it mean you already have 10K customers? Or
yeah,
like...
today, yeah, we are like onboarding 10,000 SMBs in Colombia. And we will onboard 17,000 in 2 months, because it's a B2B2B acquisition model. So it's a pension fund and a bank of enterprise, which paid a yearly subscription for their affiliated SMBs.
Okay. I believe you have a very high profit margin for this business model as well. Does it mean like what is your current balance sheet looks like?
We have a gross margin at 84%.
Okay.
Because our acquisition cost, effectively, it's like very, and we can see here, very low, because we can acquire massively SMBs with one contract, and we only pay a commission fee for our business development team. And we have a
kind of cash flow positive now?
We are not cash flow positive now, but because we are investing a lot today in the product, but we will be in 3 months. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Pleasure. Yeah, thank you to you.
Swapini, hope you are here. Vince's questions, please. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Vince, we are an advertising technology startup with a vision of democratization in advertising. Over millennia, advertising medium went through drastic change, but advertising has a history of adapting cleverly and is still adapting. Along with this medium, the thinking, approach, and attitude toward advertising has changed as well. Advertising today is smarter, sharper, and consumer-driven, unlike 4 to 5 decades ago, which was product-driven. The advent of online advertising was perhaps the biggest paradigm shift in the field. The manner in which advertisements are made, deployed, and the reactions of consumer towards them has undergone a complete metamorphosis. But let's just accept the truth that the online advertising cannot just replace outdoor advertising, as it has proven itself time and time as an invaluable tool to increase brand awareness, drive store visits, build equity, and improve retail advertising awareness across rest of the media. As an evolution in traditional outdoor advertising, digital out-of-home advertising emerged as a major phenomenon in the past few years, and shows a great interest from a long-term perspective. In fact, DOH is one of the fastest growing form of advertising today, which is also resilient to some of the problems that we faced in online advertising, such as ad frauds. So back in 2019, while working as a digital out-of-home advertising agency, we found out that the market was fragmented. There was no simple platform available for buying and selling of ad spaces. And also the market professionals were lacking the required technological knowledge in the field. We also noticed that the advertising asset owners were having difficulty in managing all their asset at one place. They were finding it difficult to provide third-party access to other advertising agency to create and deploy their ad campaign. So we came up with a solution of creating a controller card such that which can be connected to any digital out-of-home LED screens. And once that screen is connected with our controller card, that screen can be monitored with our web-based platform, which we are calling as Blinds. Now, using Blinds, the digital asset owners can manage all their screen assets at one place. They can easily create, deploy, and monitor their advertisement campaign. They can easily provide third-party access to the other advertising agencies. And also they can receive instant payment in the form of our crypto token, which we are calling as RAT, which is an abbreviation for real attention token. Basically, RAT will act as a fuel for our ecosystem, as all the transaction on our platform will be based on it. So let's just take a little closer look on how actual our platform is going to work. So suppose an advertising agency wants to deploy an ad campaign for his client. So what he can do is he can just visit to our blind platform. He can select the desirable location and screen from the list available. He can book the slot and pay the required RAT token to the screen owner. Now, once the token is paid, the ad campaign will go live and the audience can interact with the ad for getting more information or provide their insights about the ad in return of our RAT token. So what we are doing with this interaction is we are creating a data points for the brand so they can measure the performance of their advertisement campaigns. So for our market strategy, currently we will be selling our controller card directly through the screen owners, and also we'll be selling them through third-party suppliers, and we'll also be organizing the workshops for organizing workshop for advertising agencies, influencers, and content creators, so we can educate them on how they can effectively use our ecosystem for advertising. Currently, we are facing a competition directly from Huidu, Novastar, Extreme Media, and Lookat, who are currently creating controller cards and selling them in the market for digital out-of-home advertising assets. But as we will be looking forward to introduce more features for our Blinds platform, we'll be facing more giant competitors like Google, Meta, Justdial, and Fever. We are planning to generate our revenue by selling controller cards and by selling our tokens and taking transaction fees from our platform, and also by providing the advertising consultancy to our clients. For our future roadmap, we will be working on introducing more features for masters, allies, brands, and audiences for advertising campaigns. And also we will be working on developing website APIs and mobile applications APIs, thus introducing India's first decentralized advertising ecosystem. For our phase 2 of our ecosystem, we will be working on penetrating into the indoor advertising market by launching mobile gaming applications and internet TV, thus scaling our ecosystem further for EVUs. So for this idea to come into an action, we are looking forward to raise the fund of INR 1.2 crores for 5% equity of our company, and with an additional incentive of INR 1.2 crore worth of RAT tokens just before going to ITO. So we will be using our fund for products and team development, manufacturing, sales, and operations and research and development part. So far, we have developed all our prototypes by bootstrapping. We haven't received any investment so far. Currently, we are working with the team of 4 members in these ideas, which includes Kishan. He is the founder of the company, followed by Rishabh, Vinay, and myself, Swapnil, with 3 other co-founders. Thank you.
Thank you, Swapnil. Fred.
A couple things. I liked the funds needed slide, but also I changed the title to funds needed and use of proceeds. I like the fact that you're showing the use of proceeds. That was very good. When you first put the slide up of the problem, and you said there were too many ads. I actually was expecting that you were going to be an ad blocking system, a way to block ads now, but it appears that you're trying to help advertisers. But I guess I'm still a little unclear whether you're like a database of giving them data and feedback, or you modify ads or make ads more interactive. So again, similar like with some of the prior presenters, really make it clear exactly what you are, what the company is and what the it is, would be helpful. So.
Okay, so we are actually creating a platform so that means we will be creating the tools for the every aspects of the advertising, means like for the brands, for like the screen assets owner, for the advertising agencies, for the brands who actually wants to market their brand products on the advertising screen, and also for the audiences. So we want to create the tools for each and every aspects for the means the advertising assets, so that they can effectively use the ecosystem, because what we are doing is we have come with the visions of the democratization in advertising. So what we want is we want to give the access of advertisement to each and every aspect of the advertising which take parts in the ecosystem. So we will be creating tools for every one of them.
Helen.
I mean, maybe just some comments. I also see the good structure of your presentation. I also having some accent problem. It's also my problem, sorry. But at the same time, I kind of having just one comment, maybe like the problem part is too fragmented. So like I really had a lot of different thoughts when I'm looking at the problem and is thinking about certain solutions, like, okay, he wants to be a marketplace for out-of-home advertisement, or he wants to be a blocker for something. So it's a kind of, I think the problem that you listed could be more targeted to the solutions that you're actually providing. That will actually limit my imagination from the very beginning. Otherwise, I've been so distracted.
So the problem actually what we are solving is that the digital assets owner actually in the Indian market, the digital assets owner have faced the problems of managing their ad campaigns and deploying their advertisement to the different assets owner. And so the technology what they are having currently in the market is very much fragmented. Means they have to use a different technology for deploying ad. They have to use different technology for tracking their ad campaigns. So what we are doing is we are creating a simple platform or single platform, so that they can also track the means monitor the ad campaigns. They can simply deploy their ad. They can also track the working or how their ad screen is, when their screen is operating or when this screen is not operating. So all that technology what they use in a different chunks. So we are just trying to bring that in a single platform.
So you could actually summarize it in a very short sentences, but like you don't have to start with like the history of advertisement, which I'm feeling, oh, is it like education? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Keep it simple.
Fred literally just said what I was going to say. I feel like you have identified a problem. You and your team have identified a problem. And in wanting to really explain to us in great detail the problem and the solution, I think as lay people, we just get lost. It would be a lot better if you guys just found a way to simplify your pitch so that we understand it at a very high level view. Now, as you get further into discussions with potential investors and things of that nature, and they want some very detailed analysis, I think you guys have that. I think demystifying the digital ad space is already difficult enough. And just when you have 2 minutes or 3 minutes, it's very tough to do in that amount of time. If you're able to just simplify that for us a little bit, then I think it comes across as a lot cleaner, and it comes across The problem is clearly stated, the solution's clearly stated, and I think the return on investment just kind of begins to speak for itself, right? To me, the best pitch is always just a conversation and a couple of slides. And this is just, you guys have done a great job. It's overcomplicated for the initial pitch, is my thought. But that said, I think, again, you've identified a problem that absolutely has a solution, and you've got that solution. I just need you to clean it up for me, make it a lot easier and a lot simpler to digest.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. If you want to play very quick.
Yeah, I could just say in the simple words that what we are actually doing is means if we look into a India market. So what we are actually doing is currently in the DOOH sector, digital out of home advertising sector, there is no technology available for the asset owners through which they can easily deploy their ad campaigns, or they can monitor how their actually screen is performing, or either whether the ad is playing on that screen or not. And also they have the issue of to provide the third party access to the other advertising agency, because the advertising agency here works in a group kind of way, like 10, 12 advertising agency works on a single screen together. So they find it difficult to provide access to the others. So what we are building a solution is, we are just giving them a single platform. They can simply just connect a controller card to their screen, to any LED screen they want. What they can do is simply just by connecting, they can simply visit our platform through mobile application, or through mobile phones or laptops, computer, anything they want. They can just simply visit to blind platform. They can simply just log in and monitor all their ad campaigns directly from our platform. They can also get the traction and interaction parts from the audiences that they want, or that they invest in other technologies to get from their screen. So we are trying to provide that interaction parts through audience interaction in a single platform to them.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Let's move to the next one. Francisco Batista, Team Sport. Francisco, the stage is yours.
Hi, my name is Francisco. I'm the founder of Team Sports. Sports technology is expensive. And what we see is a lack of solutions that help amateurs and grassroots sports teams improve their performance. The problem really is simple. A lot of solutions out there are catered most for professionals, the NBAs, the NFLs, etc. in the market, and very few are catering for grassroots. What the market needs is a solution that helps teams in the sense of catering for the coaches' needs, for the player needs, and all adjacent service that brings a team together, a sports team together. Hence, we created Team Sports is an AI sports platform to help teams improve their potential and reach their full potential. It works very simply with a mobile app, Android and iOS, where players can train using our proprietary AI algorithm, compete with one another and with a little bit of gamification, and therefore improve their performance. Coaches have a web interface where they can obviously bring the team together, organize, teach their skills, and understand, player and team development. We develop an AI technology that sits and lives on a mobile app. Just using a camera technology, we can track accurate performance stats, whether it's for football or basketball or a conditioning exercise, and create those stats for the coach, for the players, and for the rest of the team. We started with the basketball and football. However, we've got conditioning exercises, we've got exercises for kids, and actually our AI algorithms do not discriminate and suffer from the same bias that we see notoriously other AI algorithms there, and it actually works for everyone and therefore is accessible. We started 3 years ago, and we've done quite a bit from a prototype to a sports accelerator to launching our apps and start acquiring teams. So we launched our beta last year during lockdown in February, and just as a word of mouth, we have reached 1,000 players by November last year. We are group of technologists, mostly. Most of us have built a relationship for years, and we are very good at executing and staying focused on our vision. We have been lucky that last year we managed to raise £365,000 from a select group of investors. And we are aiming to close the round, our pre-seed round, with the remaining £150,000, which will give us their sort of roughly 18 months runaway this year. And this is me in a flash.
Thank you, Francisco.
No problem.
Again, clearly a market for it. This is about, I think, the third presentation. It seems to be a similar kind of thing I've seen in the past 2 years. Some of them are a little more sports specific. So I don't know, like the level of detail, like this one in particular, you know, to help was actually specific for baseball pitchers, you know, starting at the earliest age, you know, to even analyze, you know, when they're throwing curveballs, how it could affect injuries in their elbows and things. So again, I'm not really sure what level or stage you're at. Clearly, there's room for multiple products. So from my opinion, it comes down to having a good, easy to use app and then marketing. You know, I guess you have 1,000 users right now. I don't know if are they paying users or free at this point.
It's a good question. So we launched our beta in February last year during lockdown. So it's been mostly word of mouth, executing, fundraising. So today we're ready to monetize. So we're effectively testing our Stripe integration as we speak. So some of our coaches in our platform are ready to pay and said they will pay, which is awesome. And so this is what we're trying to achieve this year, is securing the sales, demonstrate there's the market traction, so that we can go into a seed raise towards the Q3, Q4.
Good. And the suggestion would be is if you get some group, like, you know, whatever, obviously you're not in the US, but like whatever, like, you know, Washington DC area Little League, yeah, get their whole league or some group for endorsing it too, just helps sure with the traction, because again, as I say, a lot of it's going to be a marketing play to get
definitely. I hear you, Fred, and we have partnered with London Sports here in the UK, but half of our investment came from angels in the US, so we feel a strong pull for US. I'm an NBA fan, so I know where I'm going to go next.
Wesley.
I love it. You know, Little League sports are extremely competitive in the US. Sounds like it's the same in London. And, you know, you have to have those videos and you have to have those metrics and those kinds of things to go to the next level. I love the fact that you guys did it in an app. The one thing that I say everybody has, regardless of socioeconomic status, we all have a smartphone, right? They don't make dumb phones anymore. Yeah. And so because of that, being able to put that on a smartphone and have a parent or a coach have that app at the ready to record an athlete or young scholar, as I like to call them, with athletic abilities, you know, I think that's tremendous. I'd be very interested when, you know, it sounds like you guys have kind of been working on the product. I'd be very interested to see when you are at a stage of monetizing your product. I'd be very interested to see how those initial revenues look, and then I don't think you'll have any problem attracting some very early seed stage capital.
I appreciate the comment, Wesley. I think you're absolutely right. I think that is, so I think that what I'm passionate about, I play basketball myself and I grew up in Angola, and I wish I had the technology to enable me to sort of be the next Kobe Bryant, maybe at least as a dream. I think that is definitely, sport starts at that early age and it goes beyond. I'm 43 and I still play basketball. We went a bit beyond that. So we're not just about enable people to use their resources, i.e. their mobile phones, but our AI tracking algorithm actually sits on a phone. So we do not record a video of you doing the exercise, which means it's truly private, and therefore your coach only sees stats, You only see stats, and it is our AI algorithm that tell you about your form, your reps of speed, acceleration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This enables us to partner with organizations that develop the youth sports and enable that privacy, whether you are part of a team as a youth player or you are a student and your PE teacher says, go home and here's your homework, stay active. In a world of today, we all know the benefits and we all know the net positive that is in economy and life outcomes from everyone by doing sports. So, and we're doing this in a private way, and it's still fun. I wish I had enough time to demo the product, but yeah, there are a few videos on our website, and it is truly fun.
We make the introduction, no problem.
Please do.
Continue the pitch. Helen.
I like the product and I like your pitch as well. Very clear, very straight to the point.
Thank you.
And I also like the part that this is not recording. I think all the European investors love this, as long as this GDPR compliant. And at the same time, I actually just want to double check, is AI only used for the computer vision, or it is also apply some analytics afterwards?
At the moment, only as a computer vision as an input mechanism to track the stats. However, we have got about 500,000 of data points on you exercising, because we can infer your body in a 3D space. And this is all in our server. So there is plenty of potential for us to apply models on the data that we currently have on a server to find other things, even if just to augment yourself exercising on your best form. And so you can compete against yourself or against a teammate that's been augmented, because we've got enough data points to augment you in a virtual exercise setting. But yes, at the moment, only computer vision as an input, but that is plenty of potential.
I have another quick question. Like, what exactly is your target market? It seems like it could be used for professional teams and also for like the Euro, like people who go to gyms as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this, Ellen. I think we really feel this is exactly what we're building. We're building an elite solution and providing to everyone. I think there is a lack of competition in the market, there are very few players, and those are only looking upwards. We think there is an opportunity downwards in a bottom market for them, but actually we have got a solution to which we already have conversations with City Football Group, which runs the New York City and Man City, etc., and various teams. And even though the use case is from an academy standpoint, we can see there is an opportunity upwards. And in fact, depending on the sort of investment sports teams have, let's say rugby in Europe, which is big, but doesn't have anywhere near the investment and sponsorship that football has. Those professional teams are still unable to afford the solutions that the NFLs, the NBAs, and Premier Leagues, etc., can afford. So we think there's a potential on the upper market as well, but we're staying ground at the moment and starting where our passion is.
I like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Thank you, Francisco.
No, thank you, everyone.
Let's go to the next one. Basil Mason, Interactive Education. Basil, the stage is yours.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for having me. So yeah, first of all, I wanted to thank Equity Match for this great opportunity to be able to pitch in front of you. So now I'm going to present Legend of the Past. Legend of the Past is going to be the next blockchain-based game that's going to change the way people play on their mobile phone. I'm sure all of you have heard about the explosion of NFTs and more importantly, how NFT can change the artistic area, but also it's going to be a game breaking in the gaming field. And right now we have some new standards and such as Immutable X or the Hedera, some technologies that allows you to mint your and to put your virtual asset inside your video game as an NFT inside blockchain. That led to the creation of giant blockchain games such as Sorare or Axie Infinity. And also right now, new giants are emerging such as Titan Arena or Golden Chain, which are like us more 3D kind of game. But what is Legend of the Past? Legend of the Past is a mobile and PC blockchain-based game that is based on the people who made history. So you're going to play with the different people who made history. It can be both scientists, the military, some soldiers, some philosophers. They're going to play in a Clash Royale gameplay. And so the players are going to play with NFTs, and they're going to earn cryptocurrency with their skills when they win some battle and some tournament. So when you play at Legend of the Past, you're going to play with the people who made history for the different ages. So from the Bronze Age to the modern age. Like I said, you could play with Einstein, Marie Curie for scientists, some philosopher like Socrates or Aristotle, but also, of course, some soldier throughout the different ages that had an impact all around the world or the different countries. And for the artistic direction, we want to create a stylized graphic, approach, meaning that we want the player to instantly recognize who the legend is. If you're playing with Prometheus or Van Gogh, you know who it is. But you also have a cartoonish, aspect, because you want to have some appeal. You want to own, your NFT cards because you love, having John Lennon and you want to play with it. So that's very important for us. Our target for these kind of games are adults that plays crypto that have cryptocurrencies and NFTs and want to play crypto games all around the world, and they usually play 3 times a day in small session of 10 to 20 minutes to earn their daily rewards and their daily cryptocurrency with the game. But so with this kind of game, how do we make money? Well, first of all, we're going to sell our NFTs. We're going to do an NFT drop for the 6 different ages. So from Bronze Age, Iron Age through the Modern Age. On each age, so we selected, a selection of 9 legends per age that have, a different of a scarcity. You have some epic cards that are available in 5,000 editions. So there are a lot of them. So they're good, but they're not the best. The legendary cards are going to be better, and you only have 2,000 editions. But of course, they are more powerful inside the game. Thus, they cost a lot. They cost more money. And lastly, you have the immortal cards. Those are the best cards. Though, of course, they cost. They have a higher price, but it helps you to win, the game. So we sell NFTs. Then we have a commission rate. So if the people sell their NFTs on our marketplace, we take a 4% commission paid by the seller once the transaction has gone through. We also have our own token to reward the players that wins some tournaments. But this token will be available for selling. So that's also another way of making money. And lastly, we want our NFTs to be interoperable, meaning that you could use your NFT outside of our game. So we would integrate our game inside, for instance, metaverses like Sandbox or other ones, but also you could use, you could, walk around in Decentraland with your Cleopatra card. Here you have Cleopatra. It's our first NFT that we made internally, our first design. The crux of the matters when it comes to a Web3, project is the community. So how do you build a community? So first of all, we are being advised by the former senior vice president of marketing of Blizzard, who worked and created the community of World of Warcraft and Hearthstone. He's with us and working on us with that. And also we have some regular, like tactics in NFT project with the NFT giveaway, some LOP reward, and some playable ads to attract the players. And the use of influence is highly important. Like I said, we are working. We already have a publisher that's going to help us, distribute the game and localize it in different countries. And we also have a lot of spending in terms of marketing to make the game famous. As for our team, so we already have a small team of 6 people and 2 freelancers. And right now, that's why we are raising funds. It's to recruit other, higher, more experienced experts in the gaming area, for the game director and the lead gameplay programmer. And what we've done, lastly, is, so we created the company 1 year ago. We started with educational mobile game. That's how we started. And we created 2 video games about World War I and World War II that we sold in a B2C approach, and then in a B2B approach directly to schools. And what's interesting here is when you take a look at the completion, our games where 1 out of 3 of our players finished the game. It means that the gameplay was well made enough go through the games. I don't know if you know about the gaming area, but it's really high, and usually you don't have that much of completion. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Bersini. Helen, please.
I like the idea that you have in the histories was built in the game. But at the same time, I have a very paradox kind of thinking. So I thought this kind of a game, if it has a like history, it's kind of from a very educational perspective. But in the end, it turns out like the more motivation is actually coming from earning the tokens in the end. So I'm kind of, I have the wrong misunderstanding, or is it like, how did you see your like initial thinking for this idea?
Definitely. So what we want to do is we want to use history as a source of gameplay. So we used to make educational games. That's what we've done in the last year. So it's that we sold directly to schools. But for this project, we don't want it to be education oriented. In this one, we use history as a source of gameplay. In the game, when you play the artifact card of, I don't know, Excalibur, it works well with King Arthur. So it goes together. And if you put it in Einstein, it's going to work, but not that good. And so we use history. We use real event, real stuff that happened in the past inside the game. And you also have a breeding, aspect. You could merge two NFTs together. And to do that, you need to find NFTs. You need to find legends that have a good correlation. And so to do that, you need to dig a little bit in our game inside history. But like I said, it's not education oriented. It's more, we use history as a source of gameplay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Fred.
Again, sort of a similar question. Are you an NFT? What are you? Are you an NFT company that uses the gameplay to promote the drops, or are you a game company that happens
we are
to?
We are a gaming company. We are a gaming company. We've been like creating video games for the last 3 years. So we started with game. That's why, like I said, we started with creating educational games. But we are a company of gamers, and we create the game, and now we want to integrate the technology in it. That's why we already have an investor that works with Hedera blockchain, one that is backed up by Ubisoft. And so right now we are.
Well, anyway, then my suggestion would be is that your core team focuses on what you are, the gaming company, then outsource, have someone else do the NFT drops. Again, you get revenue from it, but keep your management team focused solely on your core being, which is the gaming. Same thing, the marketplace, outsource that or do a joint venture or some strategic partnership with someone else. Don't try and create your own marketplace software and platform. Just you use others would be the suggestion.
I completely agree, and that's what we are doing right now. When I told about the Web3 community, so we have an idea how to do it, but right now we are being advised by people who succeedingly created communities, who created and sold out their entire NFTs collections. And so those, we have 3 persons like that promoted, music NFT concept, and one who created a gaming NFT collection. And those people are going to help us and work for us.
Okay, I guess the other comment, as someone who's clearly older, I love how you put like Madame Curie and John Lennon in the same era. I know you call it modern era, but it almost seems like there could be, you could break that into 2 or something.
Maybe we'll do it. Just that we created like 6 ages and to make it simple.
It's a silly kind of comment. Just
it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fred. Wesley.
I thought the NFT piece of it is really, really good. I'm clear that you are a gaming company. I saw the gaming stats, but having the NFT portion kind of get in there is a good move for me. I think that's a good strategy. I think that will help you monetize. Now, in the little bit that I know about NFTs, the other part of that is what do you do with the revenue that's generated from that NFT, right? So I heard you say that, someone will buy this NFT, and then I assume they have the ability to sell it at some point, right?
Yes.
And there's revenue that's generated from that. And as I understand it, that revenue can go many different directions. So just kind of curious, how that works, and ultimately how that would link back to your investors, right? Would you consider maybe, some of that revenue going back to investors to kind of pay down some debt, give some liquidity for an equity, or I don't know, but I do like that because it's not a traditional model of, hey, we're going to sell this to someone who's playing this game. We'll have some in-game purchasing that's going on, and that's how we make our revenue. I think there's some additional, I think there's some additional revenue there, but it's just interesting. I'd be interested to hear what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, well, okay, so first answer, so we take a third of our revenue in terms of NFT and also the token for the reward, because you need, when you create a play to earn, games, we need to reward the players, and we need to have high incentive to people to stay inside the game because they love the gameplay, they're having fun, but also if you play correctly and if you win the right tournaments, you can have a high reward. So a third of the whole monetization will go for the players, because we want to create a decentralized game. And also, our token is also going to be a governance token, meaning that the people who own it also have a say in the creation of the game. For instance, in our community, we're gonna when we create the legends, the people who have a lot of token could also vote and choose. Okay, in the game, I prefer to have John Lennon John Lennon instead of Elton John, for instance. You could have something like that. So we want it to be decentralized. And lastly, regarding the investors, so right now I did not mention it, but we are raising 1.5 million. We already secured 600,000, and for our investors, we are giving them a discount on the token prior to the ICO. So several days before the ICO, they could buy our token at a 75% discount. But of course, they need to lock it for at least 4 months, otherwise they would sell it directly.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We move to the next one. Lionel Lodge, pitching is Synclodge. Lionel, please, the stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our pitch. My name is Lionel Lodge. I am the CEO and founder of Synclodge, which is a sync licensing project management ecosystem, a bit of a mouthful. It's a B2B SaaS, including a platform, desktop application, smartphone application. What is sync licensing? And this is one of the biggest problems we have with investment, is explaining, because it is something that everybody is involved with. Everybody enjoys sync licensing every day, but most people don't know what it is. Okay, so like I said, we're a sync licensing ecosystem. And to explain what sync licensing is, I'm going to start with music. Music is something that we have all come to expect in movies and other visual media. But if it was removed, what would it be like without music? And it would be pretty flat. And a big part of the story is missing. Right? But with sound, with music, far more dynamic. So films, video games, TV, and advertising are all on boom trajectories right now. And one thing that all these have in common is they all use music, and they all synchronize music to the visual for dramatic and emotional effect. The process of synchronizing the music to the visual is called sync licensing. And because of the license, there is needed to be, the license is needed for it to be legally allowed to use the music in the visual content. And with these licenses, a license fee is paid to the copyright owners. And these license fees add up to billions of dollars every year. And with the boom in visual production comes a continuous tidal wave of sync licensing. But the project management tools currently used are not scalable. The industry is filled with information and communication chaos. The tools are manual, analog, siloed, and non-centric, which leads to a stream of inefficiency, frustrations, delays, and major revenue loss on all sides. There are simply not the tools needed to run the industry and its many moving parts efficiently and in a scalable way. Well, until now. Now there's SyncLodge, the Sync Licensing Project Management System. We have gained the advice from many stakeholders in the industry over the last few years to recognize the pain points and use technology to remove them. SyncLodge brings together all the industry stakeholders to be able to manage all aspects of sync licensing with ease and clarity. We've automated the tedious, repetitive tasks, saving many hours of work each week. We have automated data searching, verification. We've introduced tools to give ease and clarity to communication, negotiation, creativity, project overview, and project completion. We are being called right now a monumental step forward for the industry as we boost clarity, boost creativity, and boost revenue on all sides. Our founding team has decades of professional industry experience. I have over 40 years experience working in the entertainment industry. Our CTO, Valentin, has over 25 years experience in developing complex IT solutions. And Stacy, our CLO, has over 30 years experience in the legal and logistics sides of the entertainment industry. We have a global industry connections from LA to London, from Singapore to Rio de Janeiro, giving us constant in-depth insight into the sync licensing industry and adding to our large network of advisors. Our targets are clear and achievable. Our targets are to pass 40 million in revenue in year 5. Matching that to our ability to keep our operating costs very low, we will see very healthy profits. Of the estimated 200,000 music supervisors, these are the people that negotiate and mediate the buying of the music globally. We only need 7% of them using our system to meet these projections. Our potential is obvious to those that use our system, and our aim is to become the standard system in the whole industry to use globally. Not only are we being embraced by the music sync industry in the US, the UK, and Europe, but also in many emerging territories like China, India, Sub-Saharan Africa, and South America. Our system simplifies the complicated, thus saving millions for the industry in time and legal complications. And currently we are experiencing a SyncLodge buzz in the industry. We are regularly being invited to globally recognized industry conferences to showcase the system. We're invited to industry podcasts to discuss its benefits. And we are now being invited to industry educational organizations in North America, Canada, the UK, and Europe to teach the logic of the system to the next generation. SyncLodge is currently reaching the end of a very successful beta stage. And to add leverage to our momentum, for the first time, we're looking for outside investment. We are offering 10% of the company equity for a total investment round of 420,000 British pounds. We are already in talks with 2 angel investors, and we will use the money from the investment round to expand our in-house development team, expand our customer service team, and for targeted industry marketing. If you'd like more information, please have a look at our pitch deck, but we also have a volume of documents that detail all our revenue tiers, and we have multiple revenue tiers through the system. And these details are of really detailed calculations to back up our projections. SyncLodge will be the tool of the industry. And when you invest in us, you're investing in a positive future for the creative industries. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Lionel. Helen.
I really like the idea. I do see a market there, and I do think this is something that can help maybe not only in music, but also other copyright industries. So I kind of thinking what I really missing is I do see your unique selling points, and also I do see the markets there. But I want to know a little bit more details, like what is your product looks like? What is the user journey looks like if I start to use your product? So if I'm a kind of a music manager, like licensing manager, what will be like the daily operations that I can do with your tool?
Okay, I would love to show you the system, but because it is a project management system, it is kind of on the complicated side. It is intuitive for the users, but it has so many different points of usage inside it. Okay, so what it is, we have 4 different portals, and there's 4 different sectors of the industry, and there's the buyers, there's the sellers, there's the music supervisors that negotiate, and then also we have the musicians unions, which is a bit of a side story. And each have their own set of tools because of the way they are interacting with each other. Right. So it is something. I have given demonstrations of the system that lasts half an hour. I've given some that last 2.5 hours. Depends how deep you want to go into it.
I mean, I think it's enough if you just give me like what kind of features you have. I think you mentioned some already.
Yeah, well, for the copyright holders, we give them all the tools for management for their sync licensing. So overview for contracts, dealing with all their contacts, messaging, overview of any requests that come in, right, and being able to communicate directly with that. For the music supervisors and the visual production companies, it is a full set of project management tools for visual production. And so it goes through every stage. And one of the nice things about SyncLodge is we believe that information should be entered in once. So that for the stakeholder that information is the most important to, they enter it, and then that information gets carried all the way through the chain without anybody else having to enter it again. And we automate things like the payment ledger and what's called the Q sheet, which are very tedious things for the music supervisors to fill out. It's all automated, and yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Wesley.
I was so hoping that you would call on me next. Thank you. I love this. I love the space. FinTech has become one of my loves. This obviously has a potential FinTech component to it. So very interested there. You know, music publishing and those copyright and all those kinds of things. To your point, it's a very antiquated system. And the way that producing music and producing commercials and ads and all that stuff has become extremely digital, and keeping up with the licensing has just been left in the dark ages. So a tool like this, I think, is very needed in the industry. And the music business, the television, film, all that kind of stuff, all that's a very international business. And I feel like you need an international product. And again, it's such spot on technology for the FinTech space. I love it. Would love to know more about it. Would love to connect with you further on it.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. And you're very right. The FinTech possibilities are actually quite extensive. We could talk about that in private more, but we have a roadmap for that is quite impressive.
Sure.
Thank you. Fred.
I was so hoping you would call me last, so thank you. Obviously a professional team. Obviously you've done the homework, like all that about it. I actually don't have many constructive criticism or comments, but so I'll be really picky. The sign behind you, if you kind of flip it around.
Is it backwards?
It's backwards. There you go.
Oh, but on my screen it's forwards.
Well,
see,
that's why I'm telling you, so you know.
Yeah, thank you, because the image is actually backwards in my room, but on my screen, what I see, it's forward. So, okay, thank you. Nobody told me that before.
Well, there you go.
Excellent.
Thank you. Let's go to the next one. Lamberto, founder of Lamberto, the stage is yours.
Here I am. Hi. I'm so thrilled to be here. It's my very first presentation ever. It's the very first time I present my company, and I have to do this in English. I will try to do my best. Thank you so much. I want you, please, to try to do this experience as consumers. Grab your phone and try to meet a person in the next 5 minutes, a person who can teach you something or who can give you a solution about any kind of problem. No, don't do this now, please. But you will find out that you will get lost. What do I mean? You will find a plethora of startups who came out after COVID to try to sell their services in several ways. Consumer side, this is a real mess, I can assure you. At the end, you will not solve the problem, and for sure you will not meet any person in the next 5 minutes. I wanted a place to go if I made a very terrible pitch, to immediately meet a coach and prepare better my next one, or to meet a psychologist after this experience. If it's been so bad, I'm depressed, I just want to meet a psychologist now. I want to have some yoga after this. Is very stressful. I imagine how if I could take my phone and meet a yoga master in the next 10 minutes. So I made it. I made a platform. Yeah, I wanted something more. I wanted a place where persons could solve immediately any kind of problem, to learn something, to meet the right person in the right moment. So I made it. If I go on my platform, the name is for human knowledge. It's even a marketing trick, because I was pleased to hear Wesley earlier to say 3 times, in a single sentence. Okay, so I read down. I'm a founder. I need some advice to meet my next investor. I need a startup, I don't know, fundraising issues. I write down on, and I can meet immediately. I don't know if you can see him, but okay, it's Alberto Villa. He's one of the is member of the evaluation team of the Italian Business Angels Network. I solved my problem. I immediately can meet that person. So what do we have here? We have 2 main things: knowledge. I mean knowledge because there's a search engine that will match any user's query with the best expertise immediately available. So we want to become the global knowledge marketplace. I will go very fast from now on. We have inside a search engine, a video call facilities, a marketplace, and we wanted to deliver an amazing experience. There's no way to have a problem on, you will just learn or earn. How did we do this? With a lot of ingredients in the pizza. So the experience of our consumers is so easy, so smooth, so amazing. So we have unique values, which are immediacy, a single place to go, easy win-win business model, and you meet real persons. For us, knowledge is the new sharing economy. We needed 5 years to arrive until here. We made 3 crowdfunding, but we still have a good share. There's a strong team. I'm the pushing bull of the team, but I have great friends and partners. Marco Colapaoli put mobile technology in Brazil for the Italian main company. Marco Polo was my boss. He runs a web marketing agency, and Andrea Alberici has a very big company doing business processing for very big companies, much bigger than us. So business model, very easy. We just take our 15%. It's something similar to Airbnb. The great difference is that you can sell a house in the weekend, and maybe once a day you can give your consulting on 10 times a day. That's why we have this big EBITDA. The market size is 20 billion. I consider it like the shadows outside the current of the real world, because immediacy will change this market completely. Traction. We are ready to go to market. I'm not satisfied, but I try to search anatocism. If anyone knows what is this word, you can find a page of experts ready to answer. So we are ready to give our services. By the way, we want to grow. Our past experience is that we have a new expert every 1.8 euros, very, very cheap. I finished. We're ready to go to market. We already have interest from Italian ventures. We need the money for this step. We will grow outside Italy. All the business plan has been made just in Italy. We are searching for an investment of 500 euros. We will provide any informations with very good advisory infos, whatever you can need. So thank you so much. I hope you will like it.
Thank you, Lamberto. Helen.
I have 2 questions. I just quickly get on your website, And then does it mean that I have to register before I type in the first question?
There's a reason, since you can enter very easily because you just press one button on your preferred social, or you just put inside your email. This is a platform for real persons. We just ask the persons you want to enter. Okay, tell us who you are. Of course, this is a marketing strategy to acquire their email for sure. They run in the web of our remarketing issues, video, whatever, you know. This is the main reason.
Have you ever tracked the bounce rate?
Yeah, it's difficult to make this analysis, Helen. I tell you why. We had 3 years of different operations on the web, but we're not still on the market. So sometimes we needed to get more experts. Sometimes we did other things, but we have an extraordinary engagement. I work for a Google agency. Usually I never see those kind of numbers. I hope this is a sign of the interest, but I cannot tell you for real until now.
Right. I have another question, which is in one of your slides, the EBITDA is 80%. How can I be EBITDA a percentage?
The reason is that we don't have warehouses, we don't have sales forces. Is a platform. The platform was designed with a manifesto. The manifesto was that never a person had to do anything to make the platform to go. So we just have this, we just take the money, our 15%, okay? We have Stripe, so if an expert gives consultancy, he will take 85% and we will just have that 15%. That's why our EBITDA is so big. We just get the money, our percentage of money, thanks to Stripe.
It's fine. I think you're trying to explain me the profit margin.
Yeah. It's all profit, Helen, it's all profit. We have expenses which are a fraction of a cent per minute of video situation, and we just earning. It's unbelievable, we're just earning. I hope, Helen. This is what our advisor is saying.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Hey, Fred.
Yeah.
I actually took up your challenge. I looked for a yoga mat. I said, "Hey Siri, provide yoga masters near me." I had a list of 8. "Hey Siri, give me a psychologist near me." It came through. So, oops, she's still working. So I guess I have a little problem with your assumption on the problem and the need. You know, I don't know if maybe Siri doesn't exist in other places, but you know, or I can, you know, search Google's or others, but so I guess I just have I question the size of the need, you know, especially given the competition out there.
Yeah, Fred, you're totally right. But as I imagine that what you saw is an offer, as you said, near to me. I am talking about now. So you could meet a psychologist which is in another country, maybe, or in another completely different place. This is the big difference. And you will find that to really meet a person in minutes, it will be not this easy. And if you're trying to search something very simple, yeah, maybe you will find it. But if you need a place to find an expert on a specific topic, it will be every time harder. Try, Fred, really is very difficult to meet a person in a very few time. If you did it, because I don't know how you did. In Italy, it's totally impossible. And my friends in the United States told me that it was the same. But this is one place.
I guess the suggestion for you in your presentation is to come up with different examples, because I specifically did a yoga master and a psychologist. So maybe have better examples that, you know, that don't work as easily. Yeah, I guess that.
Can you meet them?
Excuse me?
Can you meet them, Fred, immediately? Can you really meet them?
I haven't. I didn't try that.
Try.
At
Really
least,
try.
At least I was connected to who to reach. Okay.
Yeah.
Wesley.
So, Lombardo, thank you, first of all, for the presentation. It sounds like you, and I'm gonna have a totally different question. It sounds like you developed the product based on kind of your work experience. Is that fair?
Not exactly, but in some ways. I'm on the web marketing since a lot of time in communication, so a lot of past experience went together to do this platform. Yes, I used personal examples to make easier to understand. Every one of us has different needs, and most of them will be answered on the platform.
Okay. So I guess I'm curious, how do you see this product, or do you see this product in an international space? And if so, how?
Okay, in the very first steps, will be translated. It's very easy to enter new countries because the product really, you translate it. Yeah, there are some linguistic issues, but it's very easy to go nation by nation. In the future, so to begin, Wesley, you will find solutions on your country. But in the future, I imagine I want to open in the United States, my company, I will go to USA to ask to a person about that market. So yeah, the growth is meant totally worldwide. I hope so.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. We move to the next one. Federica Bersini, Coffee House. Federico, the stage is yours.
So hi, my name is Federico. I'm the founder of a coffee house. Coffee House is a social network where you can invest in people you admire using our innovative coin system. So where did the idea come from? I'm a big fan of the 18th century, and I'm in love with coffee houses and intellectual salons. So I wanted to replicate it, a social network where you can basically bump into interesting people and start talking to them. So we decided to launch our MVP a few months ago, and what happened next was very interesting. We had around 3,000 testers. It was a really simple MVP, and we started talking to them. After a lot of salons and a lot of conversations and brainstorming sessions, we realized that something was missing. They were very interested in the platform, and we had very good engagement, especially for being, a crappy MVP. But they all asked me to, how can I monetize this, Federico? You're from the financial industry. Is there a way we can use your platform to basically make money? And that's where the idea of the coin system came from, basically by talking to our users. So what are we replicating here? We realize that creators and influencers are struggling with monetization. They're looking for new ideas and new platforms where they can basically, monetize their online content. At the same time, non-creators, people like me, who are not professional creators, have no chance of making a dime out of their social media experience. So we're basically exploited for our data, but there's no way to make a buck out of it. So what are we offering? We decided that we were going to combine elements from the social media industry with elements from the investment industry. So we launched a platform where you can not only use it as a social network, but you can use our coin system to invest in people you admire. So how are we going to do this? Basically, our users are going to sign up to the platform, and they don't have to do anything coins related if they don't want to. If they find someone interesting, an interesting community, an interesting creator, they can decide to open a balance account on Coffee House and use the money to purchase a coin that's linked to the profile of that person. After a while, they'll build up a portfolio of coins, and they can, see it, analyze it, and basically check what's going on with coin prices that are linked to these people, the interesting people. And if they want, they can also, in 2 clicks, launch their coins, and people will be able to trade it. So they will be able to tokenize basically their reputation. So where are we now in terms of user acquisition? After we launched the MVP, we started to build the real product. And after a few months, the product is almost ready. We're testing it internally, and we started engaging with online communities. Our main targets are of 2 different types. The first one are creators and influencers. And we're in touch with thousands and thousands of them, either directly or through agencies. We realized that by talking to agencies that represent creators, we could use sort of a shortcut to get in touch with them. and they're all signed up to a beta, and they want to launch their coin basically to test the market. The other bucket is online communities. So we're in touch with thousands of organizers on Discord, Slack, and other types of online communities. They could be book clubs, investment clubs, and science discussion groups. And at the same time, they're looking for new ways to engage with their community. So they're extremely excited to join Coffee House, and they join our beta as well. So here's the difference between Coffee House and the rest of the social media field. What you find on traditional social networks is basically either no monetization tools or monetization tools that are based on subscription models and maybe some tipping systems. They don't give a chance to the users to be exposed to the upside and become investors in people rather than just donors or subscribers. So there are only two blockchain-based platforms that are trying to replicate this social token movement, but they're basically a list of coins. There is no social interaction embedded in it. So why are we different, and what's our competitive advantage? Not only we're basically one of the first platforms who's doing this, is combining these two words into a new cocktail, but we are not based on the blockchain. So we think that's actually a source of competitive advantage. We make the user experience and extremely simple. People don't need to understand finance or blockchain. Obviously, they can buy and sell coins in 2 clicks. And the beauty about it is that we started stealing ideas from different fields. And what we came up with is a coin system that's based on bonding curves. Bonding curves are systems that allow us to do 2 things: determine prices and create a liquid market for our users. So they don't have to list their coin on an exchange. They don't have to find an intermediary. They can buy and sell coins in 2 clicks without having any liquidity issues. So our team, we are a very strong team. We've been knowing each other, some of us for over 20 years. We played basketball together. We already built some products together. And my co-founder, Melis, is creating this new cocktail of combining a social network with an investment tool. And so we are now ready to launch. We are testing the app internally. It's going to be a mobile app based on iOS and Android. And we are giving people fake money to start trading coins and interact with our product. And after a couple of weeks of testing, we'll open up to the public with real money and no fake money anymore. So we're looking to raise from 250K to 400,000. Why this difference? Most of our costs are variable. Apart from our team costs, the rest is basically AWS costs. So we want to have a little margin for being able to grow our user base without having to close the platform or tell them to stay on a waiting list. So our business model, it's basically very simple. When people will add money to their balance account on Coffee House, we charge a little fee. We talked with a lot of people during a beta, during the MVP phase, and we realized that doing a simple business model based on this fee, it's a very good idea to start with. Then we have many fancy ideas for the future, but in the beginning, we just charge a fee. I think the beauty about Coffee House in terms of financing or financial dynamics is that we are more similar to a trading platform in terms of average revenue per user rather than a social media company. So we will reach a higher profitability faster, and especially an average revenue per user that's going to be very different from a typical social network. So to finish, we're trying to launch a new era. It's the era of coinversations, and hopefully people will be able to invest in communities they admire using our coin system. And just to end that, we don't want people to think that they got to invest their savings in coins. That would be very misleading. We think that our coin system could be used as a way to generate some, extra income, but it's a source of behavioral change on social media. Whenever you have a financial incentive embedded in a social network, your behavior changes. You'll be more motivated to invite your friends or moderate your community. That's all.
Thank you, Federico. Fred, Helen, Wesley, we just give a feedback now without questions, so we close in the rest 15.
Again, very, very quickly, I love the idea. Again, I like to see a little bit clearer communication of all the things that you're doing, how it relates to revenue. I mean, the concept wise good, but just I need you to tighten the presentation in order to attract sophisticated investors.
Helen.
I'm actually having a confusion here. So basically, why do you think the other tipping system cannot be transformed into this logic as well, which could be much quicker and they already having a base of the community?
Replicating a coin system is not very easy compared to a tipping system. It's just a different type of product. Becoming an investor, like tokenizing reputation and creating like shares that represent people, it's a very different product compared to a basic tipping system like you can find maybe on Twitter or on other platforms. You're basically creating a stock exchange rather than a pure donation or a tipping system. So maybe they could. I mean, it's obviously big companies could do that, but they're not going that direction for the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Wesley.
I'm curious as to why you feel like not developing this on the blockchain is a better way to go. I'm not a developer, so let me just say that first. But it's my understanding that developing on the blockchain also adds a certain amount of security. And to me, when you're talking about coins and things of value, I would imagine that you would want the most security possible. Again, I'm not a developer, but it's my understanding that developing on the blockchain does provide a certain amount of security.
Yeah,
or even just perceived security.
Yeah, but we already trust with our money with big transactions, Web2 companies without needing to store them on a decentralized ledger. And actually, the security issue is super secure to do transactions on Web2. The downside of the blockchain is that it creates gas fees, costs, poor user experience that we'd rather avoid, especially in the beginning. So in terms of security, I'm already putting my entire savings, my entire life into Web 2.0 companies without needing the security given by Web3.
Okay.
Thank you, Federico. We
Thanks,
move to
guys.
the next one. Ina Bankstelle, Bionabu. Ina, the stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ina Bergsteller. I'm CEO and founder of Bionabu. Bio stands for life sciences, and Nabu is Mesopotamian god of wisdom. So what we built, we launched the first end-to-end matchmaking platform, allowing crowd teaming to find niche expertise dedicated to innovation and healthcare. So what's the problem? Is the project. The project in the healthcare. Project sponsors spend a lot of time and effort try to find qualified partners to work with. And it's a tragedy because service providers having the same problem. They spend huge amount of their time every month on non-fee generating bench sales, and they hate it. If somebody is a consultant in the life sciences, it's literally a pain. So what is the solution? Matchmaking for project sponsors and service providers to navigate heavily regulated space in which we are operating, where professionals can innovate from the areas such as healthcare, health tech, medtech, and biotech. What we built is a platform where our vetted members can collaborate on the projects. So we are a two-sided marketplace, matchmaking platform, and we are not only that, we are managing expectations from both parts, from service providers and project sponsors. What we do, we not only find quickly validated service providers for our niche project, we also provide them virtual project management support, and this reduces the project cost dramatically. Same for the service providers. We make the sales process far more efficient and we let them focus what they do well. In terms of competitive landscape, we're first to market with our innovative open teaming solution dedicated to innovation and healthcare. There are lots of platforms around, but we are the first one provided that what needed for the project delivery. Our marketing plan is really hard to replicate because it's built for purpose and it's built by healthcare professionals for healthcare professionals. We were very successful in securing partnership with the leading health tech incubators and industry clusters. We built collaboration with medtech student networks across England, and we also measured traction and validation of our product. We have 250% user growth since we launched in October last year. Our project success match is 50%, and this is without planned AI. And our demo sign-up conversion rate is far more above the industry standard. So we are in a huge market. Our SOM is 12 billion, but we are targeting 3% for SOM, only those who are representing most competent independent professionals in their respective field. And this is without expansion to other industries and proprietary content. So what's our business model and projected revenue? We project 37 million revenue in 5 years. Our business model is the sales commission to the project service provider, ranging from 5 to 20% depending on the contract value and duration, as well as optional project management oversight fee to the project sponsors because they need to deliver the project and we are good at that. So why is now? COVID-19 showed us how to accelerate global healthcare innovation. And the funding in this area has been huge and it is growing. It is predicted to grow by 63% by 2023. We need to empower gig economy with real experts. 53% of Generation Z is already freelancing, and this is expected to grow. Project sponsors more than ever need fast track their formation, form the teams required to deliver results, not only for them, but also to return to their investors. So the investment opportunity is the following. We are seeking for £250,000 seed to expand our technology by implementing project module to enable crowd teaming, payment on the platform directly, better IA matching for precision, and video consultation for our super experts. 30% we're planning to invest in sales and marketing and 20% in operations because our platform is using user verification and solid due diligence and performance tracking. So we have already secured a commitment of £40,000 and our valuation of our company has been measured 1.5 million. We are on a fast track to build completely innovative solution. We created in January 2021 from the concept generation and we launched already in September. We measured our usability and product market fit. Now we are looking for investment. This has been bootstrapped so far. This is our first investment outside to implement the video consultation, virtual project management model, and launching our AI. With that, we would be really good towards our success of the global growth and the blockchain technology to grow our global community. Our leadership team has a strong delivery. Myself, I'm coming with 15 more years expertise of delivering more than 40 clinical trials within pharma and biotech sector. I'm well supported by my colleagues, my chief technology officer, who has a vast majority of the project in the healthcare, as well as my brand and marketing lead with 20 more years experience developing brands in the life sciences. We also have board of advisors and we have 8 front and back end developers. So 6 reasons to invest in us. First, to market innovative open crowd platform dedicated to healthcare, massive addressable market, network effects, technology-led scalable business model, and most importantly, the first build for purpose solution for healthcare. I would love to hear your feedback and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ina. Fred, if you want to give your feedback.
Sure. Again, a huge need. I would say be a little careful in some of your statements when you say you're the first one doing this, because at Keiretsu Forum, the angel network that I'm involved with a couple, that one, and also Meta Angels. I've seen at least 3 presentations of companies in the past 3 years doing substantially the same. I'll say the same, not even similar things. So just for keeping your credibility, say one of the first or the first in this area would be helpful. So clearly a need, and so it's a good opportunity.
Thank you.
Wesley.
Fred, I think there's clearly a need here. I think the presentation is informative and encompassing, and quite frankly, it's clear. It's a really, really, really good pitch deck from start to finish, to educate someone on what the problem is and to really educate them on what you believe the solution to be. I think it's well done.
Thank you.
Helen.
I have the same feeling. It's a very clear pitch, and also like the information provided is really fitting the gap of my knowledge, filling my knowledge gap somehow. I actually have a very similar concern about the competition, because not only like the direct competitors, could be other like, or maybe not like the job matching forms, but like there's also, they probably don't really use this community concept, but like there's other platforms that you can easily find in consultant, like, or freelancers who can actually contribute here. Like, do you consider them as a like indirect competitors as well, or you're completely play in a different area?
So we are different. That's why maybe you're right. It should be careful. And yeah, there are other players, but not with the same concept. So they do not provide the project management oversight on top of community, on top of the open space. So in this respect, we are the first to market, but you're right. Perhaps I need to sort of adjust the wording, not to confuse other existing solutions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ina. We move to the next one. Alvaro Sides. Educare. Please, Alvaro.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Alvaro Saez, CEO at Citeria, a startup that will transform production standards in the audiovisual, video game, and virtual reality sectors. These sectors have experienced exponential growth in recent years, and it's due to the increasing demand that it's becoming more and more complicated to carry out quality production while keeping costs at bay. That is why we have developed the most efficient technology on the market, which allows us to transform scripts into audiovisual productions automatically in a matter of seconds, achieving a reduction in production costs of at least 83%. We have registered our trademark, and we are also working on the registration of our patent. I want to show an example of our prototype. This version is still in Spanish, but soon we will publish it in English and other languages. Now I will do the translation. In this case, the man embraces woman in the desert. The woman kisses the girl in the village. Monica, another woman, eats her apple in the theater and jumps. And in a couple of seconds, we see how the scene is generated with coherence with the introduced text. As I was saying, this is a prototype that works for generating storyboards, and that we are refining to reach our final solution, which will allow us to carry out final productions, realistic productions, due to an increase in graphic quality. Should take example, and that. and finish here. Okay. Our current competitors are post-production software that focus more on providing special effects and facilitating editing for production companies. But don't focus on the real problem, which is that the main costs are currently in the recording phase. Tomorrow's competition will bring possibilities in terms of interfaces that will allow the manipulation of avatars and virtual scenes. This will help to reduce costs, but will still mean a further reduction in our software, since with current anima, there's no need to create scenes manually. Our team has extensive experience in the development of technological projects related to AI and video games and VR. We also know the audiovisual sector, and we are in contact with different Spanish entities that provide us with technological profiles and knowledge of the market to specify our solution to their needs, to validate the solution with them, to obtain traction metrics, and so on. As for the milestones we have left to meet in the short term, in June 2022, we are going to finish our MVP. Then we will measure in the market its performance and how close it is to your needs. And in October, we will launch it. Our business model is based on a software service with different subscription rates depending on the client's needs. Whether it's a filmmaker, a marketing department, or a film production company. For video game studios and VR companies, we propose the transfer of the technology as a plugin, which is like an application that they make available to their community. So it is much easier to reach end users because big studios like Epic Games already have a loyal community. We will reach our clients through a digital inbound marketing strategy and by attending industry events in the words where the market is especially active. As for the financial data, by the end of 2022, we will be in negative numbers, but we will have entered the market and will be earning 60,000 euro in revenues. And from then on, the profit will be positive until reaching 2 million euros by the end of 2026. At the beginning, we start our activity in Spain, since it is the market we know best. But from the third year onwards, we want to expand internationally. And for us, it only means replicating the process we've validated in Spain at a global level. These are national figures for the visual sector. At the international level, the data is multiplied by, for example, 20. Finally, we're in round and we are looking for 500,000 euro for the know-how needed to finish our MVP, our technology, by June 2022. As I've told, our marketing strategy and the cloud structure enough to serve our solution to the market with an internal rate of return of almost 45% in 5 years. And that's all. Thank you for the attention. And if there are any questions.
Thank you, Alvaro. Fred, if you want to take this.
Sure. I'd love to know how you get a 44.82% IRR projection over the next 5 years. How you get that so precisely?
It's the cash for is the production of our cash for the next 5 levels. So we got this this internal rate.
All right. Well, the constructive suggestion for you is under promise and over perform, especially when you're being so specific with numbers.
Okay.
Because with that, people are going to challenge you. No matter what, anyone can challenge the numbers. So say approximately or estimated. I mean, just say 45% or over 40%.
Okay.
Shoot, then I had another comment for you. Again, please try and clarify up front, in the first slide or two, exactly what you are. I mean, but basically the word of thumb to anyone, either you do some kind of wow story is your initial thing, or you say what you are. And so for most of the time, it's better to just say what you are, and then we're more focused and can understand the rest of your presentation better.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Fred.
Wesley.
Alvaro, thank you for the demonstration inside the pitch. That helps. I'm familiar with your competitors, although I'm not a guy who's very much into all the technology that surrounds all of that production, right? But I always like it. Like, the higher quality of the graphics, the better to me. So I can appreciate it. I just don't know how it works. That said, I agree with Fred that 44.86% IRR. I saw that number and I was like, that's mighty high over 5 years. Understanding, again, it's all projections, because you're trying to, it's a pitch, so you're projecting, right? You've got tough competitors who are well seated in the marketplace. So, I don't know that 5 years, I don't know if that's the right projection in 5 years. But we know they're all just projections. We know you're going to have to, adjust them up and down as the market sees fit and as you all see fit. But I think you're onto something. So I wish you the best of luck.
The other comment on that too, for a real practical thing, if I were the investor coming in, that becomes my minimum. I would structure the deal that if after 5 years I didn't have a 44.85% IRR, I suddenly would go from owning whatever 10% of your company to 48%. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. That's a good point.
Okay, thank you. What's left?
I might not have too much to add, but I actually would even question the Provis page as well when you do the projection for your revenues, because you haven't really got a product tested, like what is the number is based on is something that I will be curious to know as well. I mean, you don't have to answer. I was just kind of thinking that could be the part that I will have to get to know more information.
Yeah, it is based on our validation of in our clients, in our national clients, because we know mainly the Spanish market, and for the we predict a number of clients. So with that data, we can do this. We expect to do this these predictions and to get this radio, but it's true that it could be more it could vary a lot. So yes, we're going to look another time this data.
Thank you, Alvaro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. We move to the next one. We are last two, starting with Sinehala or Memeko. Sinehala, please. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me. So I'd like to start off with a quote by our late leader, Nelson Mandela, who once said that it is in our hands to create a better world, and it is in our hands to create a better world for all to live in it. And as a team, that is exactly what we set out to do. We are very passionate about giving the world access to a better travel experience. And we plan on doing that by creating an innovative, expandable luggage that will transform the trend of the luggage industry. So I'd like to take you through where the journey all began. So as a woman myself, and I know for a fact that all the women that are on this platform can relate to the fact that when it comes to packing for a trip, is one of the most stressful things that you can go through, because there's always too much luggage and not enough storage space. And sometimes it ends up forcing you to actually carry an additional luggage bag, which is not the most convenient option. Or perhaps you were able to even squeeze in the additional luggage into one case, only to get to the airport and find that you have to pay an unexpected extra fee, which is also an unexpected inconvenience that you have to pay an extra amount of money. As a panel of investors and experienced entrepreneurs yourselves, I'm pretty sure that one of the worst things that can happen is having your phones die when you're traveling, because you've got phone calls to make and emails to answer. So not to mention as well that luggage items can often get stolen at the airport, as millions of people and travelers around the world are actually facing those challenges. And so since we couldn't find a luggage that directly addresses all these issues, we decided that we were going to create the solution ourselves, and TFL was born. So we have decided that we were going to create a smart expandable luggage that has a 2-in-1 functionality. And it also includes a weighing handle, which enables you to weigh your luggage and know how much your luggage weighs. It also includes a USB interface, which will allow you to charge on the go. A TSA approved smart fingerprint lock, so that gives you peace of mind knowing that your luggage is safe and secure, as well as a GPS smart luggage tracker. And another key component of our luggage, which is a vacuum compressor that compresses all of your luggage so that it can maximize space within your luggage bag. So what makes our luggage so special? The fact that our luggage increases in volume capacity by over 80%, as it can expand from a 24-inch small luggage to a 30-inch medium luggage, and at the same time expanding from a different luggage, expanding from a medium-sized 30-inch luggage to a 62-inch large-size luggage. Also, to add to the fact that we also have a lifetime warranty that our clients can enjoy, so that makes us the best option in terms of quality, convenience, and longevity. So when it comes to our market size, because we are thinking globally, we have a total addressable market of 1.154 billion, and we're targeting the luxury travel global market. We also have this serviceable addressable market, which is the business and leisure traveler, as they will be the ones who are most likely to buy our luggage. And that's sitting at $6.95 billion as the opportunity that exists in that market. As we plan to obtain the 2 billion market share, which exists in South Africa, the revenue potential sits at $66 million, because that will be based on the 28,571 units that we plan on selling over the next 10 years, giving us a 1% market share during that period. So we're currently targeting the high net worth Gen X and Gen Y user. They typically travel over a period of 15 to 30 days, either as a luxury influencer or a digital content creator, or as an entrepreneur or a corporate executive. When it comes to our business model, we have a B2B and a B2C business model. Our B2B revenue will be made through distribution sales through our retail groups, as well as automotive lifestyle products, which are going to be our resellers. And on the B2B side, we're going to be making sales from our e-commerce platform, and years later, or 3 years to 5 years from now, we will be having our own flagship stores. So when it comes to our financial projections, within our first year, we do project to make a revenue of $2.4 million and a net of $1.4 million. And that will obviously come from a sales unit of 1,050 units that are sold. And as we increase over the next 5 years by 50% in sales, we do project that in the 5th year, we'll have a revenue of $5.8 million. So we're currently asking for a $500,000 cash injection at 3% equity, and this will go towards our manufacturing and product development, our new product development, operational expenses, as well as our marketing efforts. We're not just looking for investments for equity, but we're also looking for an investor who's also going to share our vision and also add more resources and value to us as a company as well. So currently we have achieved pre-sales of $404,000 from our client SMG dealership, which houses multiple luxury car brands. As you can see on our letter of intent, they have ordered their first batch of 50 units, and then thereafter they'll be ordering 400 batches that they'll be distributing to all of their dealerships nationwide. Right next to that, we also have our letter of intent from our manufacturer, our Italian manufacturer, confirming that they are our official producer of our luggage. So what makes us the best team to pull this project and this innovation off? Well, the management team has a diverse array of experience in multiple companies and multiple business ventures, with our Chief Vision Officer having 4 years in the retail industry and also having started his own company called Orme and Meko. And myself as the Chief Operations Officer with a background in B2B sales and human resources, also having started my own company called One Way Connect, which is a software company. Our Chief Innovation Officer, Sanele Mhlongo, has a vast amount of experience in the tech and innovation space, having also started his own company in the on-service demand app tech space. And we are also lucky to have the support of 2 brilliant team members, our marketing whiz, which is Sibabalwe Ngola, and she has 10 years in marketing experience from an international perspective, as well as Wenzo, who has a master's in industrial design and also has international experience when it comes to industrial design. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation. In fact, I'm going to invite my co-founders to join me as we answer the potential questions that you may have. We look forward to hearing your feedback.
Most carry-on luggage, the handles are not conducive for people over 6'2" tall. There's a few manufacturers who make long handles for tall people. Does yours do that?
Yes, sir. So ours, the longest one is 62 inches in terms of the body weight.
Yeah, you gave me the answer, so yes, that's great.
Yes,
Second thing is, you might want to question your valuation. 3% is probably pretty, in my experience, a little low valuation given the state of where your company is.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll take that into consideration.
You had to go. Thank you so much. We are running a bit late, but thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Goodbye, all. Bye.
So much. Helen.
I think it is an interesting design. I was just wondering, how much is it?
How much is it to sell?
Yeah.
It's $2.3, $2,300.
Yeah.
2,000.
Yeah, $2,300.
Yeah. I mean, it's just based on my personal experience. I think majority of my friends have different size of luggages. And then like at the same time, like how much is useful to have a GPS for your luggage and how much it is useful to having such a different lockers for your luggage is something like basically your value proposition, but like, is it really a must have or it is nice to have? So that would be my questions.
So we believe that our luxury is not just only a novelty, but also luxury plus convenience. So in terms of tackling your question in terms of location, we are looking into tapping into the global markets, but firstly, we just want to test our domestic market first, and we do our test market this side. And then before we branch out into the global expansion, we just already have good reviews in terms of the products and its feedback.
Mm-hmm. Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Wesley.
I like it. I echo Helen's thought, right? How much is the actual unit? Understand you're attacking the global market and the luxury market. And I appreciate the pre-sales. The pre-sales will help you go a long way in raising that initial capital, right? I'm wondering, what are your plans outside of the luxury market? Like, do you have a solution that I can take to, you know, a Target or a Walmart, you know, someplace where you can get major distribution with the same technology, right? So yes. The same, you know, the same, and you know, and this just kind of popped in my head.
I definitely understand you.
It's a unique design. Have you put a patent on your design? Have you thought about the IP behind it?
So thank you for a great question. So everything that we do is designed internally. So the major barrier to put everything out there, yes, it's just the barrier to raise the funds for us to file in the patent. But everything else is just designed internally with us. And in terms of in a larger distribution channel. We are looking into coming up with more different material designs. For the starter, just to test the market, is the aluminum, but we are going to switch to polycarbonate to also test other, middle class markets that we can also largen our distribution channels.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question.
No, it does. I think it's a unique idea. I like the expandable luggage because I actually travel a lot. I just got home from a 10-day trip recently. What I don't want to do is have 3 and 4 pieces of luggage because I have to figure out how much I'm packing based on how long I'm going to be gone, right?
Yes.
So one piece of luggage that expands, you immediately spoke to me.
Yes,
the US is full of business travelers and, people who would use this every single solitary week. And then again, depending on how long they're gone and what they have to take, again, the expandable piece, expandable, collapsible, that's just such it's a good innovation. So I like it. I like Fred said, watch your values. 3% is a little low for the amount of capital you're seeking. But other than that, certainly do your patents. So I understand, you have to raise your capital first before you can start doing your legal piece. But absolutely, I think it's a great idea. Congratulations.
All right, thank you so for your feedback.
Appreciate the
Thank you,
feedback.
guys.
Appreciate it so much.
We move to the next one. Mose Helbos. Mose, thank you.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you, Max, for organizing this. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Helen. I'm going to do a 5-minute pitch in 1 minute because we're an hour behind and everybody wants to go home. So first of all, really fantastic evening. I'm really impressed with everything I saw. Just so you know, just stretch your arms a little bit and I'll tell you about healables. Healables or wearables that heal. We heal with clothing instead of medication. So instead of taking drugs, you have a smart textile with an electroceutical device, and we reduce inflammation, relieve pain with smart textiles. I'll show my pitch deck for 30 seconds and then we can go. We relieve pain, accelerate healing, and reduce inflammation without medication. We have a fantastic team. Our chief medical officer comes from Harvard, our CTO from Johns Hopkins, and knee osteoarthritis is just one example of our platform technology, what we can address. 500 million people worldwide, $100 billion problem in the UK alone. We can address that with our product, an electroceutical device that docks with smart clothing. We have sensors that deliver the therapy and that provide real-time feedback. We have a behavioral health coach that coaches the mind in addition to the sensors that are treating the body. So we're treating the whole person, the mind and the body. This part of the product faces the B2C, the consumer. And then we have for professionals a remote practitioner portal so people can go and practitioners, physiotherapists, body workers that have been hit so hard during the pandemic, they can do hands-on treatment remotely. And with the knee sleeve is just our beginning. We're going to expand to other textiles. So we're based on legacy technology that's in the market now in the Cleveland Clinic and in Stanford, but it's not wearable, it's not affordable, not accessible, and not scalable because it requires so many highly trained people in order to go and use the technology that they have, the microcurrent therapy in the Cleveland Clinic and the integrative team approach at Stanford. And we do that not as a clinic-based solution, but as a product-based solution. So a little bit about the technology. We treat the cells and we treat the whole person with different types of digital health coaching. For example, resetting the parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. So teaching people to relax. User testing, we see 83% of users reported pain relief of at least 50% and an increase in range of motion. We have patents that are granted and pending worldwide. And we have a back-end compliance that is compliant with the different health regulations, HIPAA compliant, GDPR compliant. So right now we have clinical trials ongoing in Israel with the head of sports medicine at the Wolfson Medical Center in Greater Tel Aviv. We have clinical trials set up for diabetic neuropathy, and we have clinical trials that we're going to be doing together with our pharmaceutical partner in India for lower back pain. And on the sports side, we have a pilot with the Stade Francais Paris rugby team. They're excited about our product. We're treating players. We just, in Israel, we just treated a soccer player with meniscus. He was out for months and he got back and scored the winning goal after using our product. So in marketing, we have our platform technology supports two distinct markets, a wellness market that does not require FDA clearance, and then a medical market that goes through FDA clearance. So on the medical side, we're doing licensing. For example, with SRS Life Sciences, they're going to get an exclusive license for all of India, and they're going to be doing lower back pain and taking the product to market over there. And then on the sports side, we'll be starting with the US and the UK through sports teams as well. So this is what the competition looks like. It's just, not easy to use, not friendly, complicated. You just can't do this on your own. It's too complicated. And Merck is doing a surgery. They're doing invasive implantable devices where they're putting chips in people's heads to go and reduce chronic inflammation. We can reduce chronic inflammation without surgery, without implanting a chip in your head, just by wearing a hat. Okay, so here's some device competition. Our revenue model is 2/3 SaaS, 1/3 device. So we're really a software company supported by hardware. And we'll be cash flow positive in year 3 from investment on the wellness and sports revenue alone. So as Michael Jordan said, some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. At Healables, we make it happen. We want to partner with investors like you guys that make it happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Mosen. Helen, Wesley, this is the last one. We've been a marathon today.
It was a little long, but once you closed it out nicely, thank you very much. I'll say this. I've never been much into biotech stuff. And when I saw that you were going to be pitching, I made an effort to go learn a little bit more. And your pitch cleared it up for me just that much more. Certainly there are applications in the chiropractic industry. There's certainly applications in the sports industry. What I did not anticipate and what you drew attention to was mental health. Excuse me. It's certainly a wellness product, and being able to send stimulation to make people relax. Mental health is front and center in a lot of conversations these days, right? And because of that, I just think that that's such a useful. I think your product is so useful in those arenas, and I can see it. And I do. I think I like it, and I think you guys have come up with something.
Thank you. I think so too. So let's continue the conversation, afterwards if you have time, and more energy after this marathon.
Helen, the last.
I like it too, and I like your presentation. I really appreciate your sympathy when you want to rush a little bit. However, even though you're actually pretty rushy, but from your pitch deck, I actually see everything that I need to see. Like, especially for medical devices, I was strongly kind of looking for your partnerships for clinical trials. And then you also present it in that way. And also like the ways how you want to sell your product with 2 different paths. I think that's pretty clever. At the same time, at the very beginning, when I saw this product, I actually saw a lot in Germany, and I almost invested in one. But like, same as Wesley said, because the mental health part is definitely your unique selling points to outstanding from the other competitors. So from that perspective, I really like your presentation.
Well, thank you for hanging in there. And Max, thanks for organizing such a wonderful event. Really, I'm so inspired. I want to make some money so I can go buy that luggage because it looks awesome.
It's a bit expensive.
It has to start that way, but I'm sure the prices will come down with time, but
that's exactly what I thought to myself. I was like, it's a bit expensive, but it has to start that way. They did say it's targeted to the luxury market. So I was like, okay.
Better to start high, right? It's always, you always have time to go down. No problem at all.
That's right. You got time to go down.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mose, and thank you, Wesley, Helen. It's been beautiful having you. I'm very sorry we've been running for more than almost 3 hours, which is a bit too long. For the next one, we have in March, the 17th, we have a webinar, and the 2 weeks after we have our pitch day in healthcare and life science. I promise we'll be 1 hour and a half for the webinar and maximum 2 hours for the pitch day. Thank you to everyone for coming. It's been a very good pleasure for me.
Absolutely.
I really much learned from everyone, and thank you again. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again next time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.
Nice to see you all.
Bye.
Have a good day.